Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. Today we're going to do something different. We're going to do a crepe myrtle called Pocomoke and a rock. I have three. To save time, I took the Pocomoke out of the pots, and right now the soil mixture I'm going to use is 1 part vermiculite, 3 parts peat moss, 2 parts torpedo sand. Now if you can't find torpedo sand, just use a regular sand or coarse sand, or just use sifted perlite. It doesn't make a difference. Anything that you can get your hands on. To make it simple, or just use some cactus soil. And then I'm putting in a tablespoon of Mykos. Now the rock I got for this planter, it was off a broken fixture from my friend Roy, so he just gave it to me. He didn't know what to do with it, so I took it. And then there's some charred pieces here from it. So we'll see what we can do to make our little forest. So what I think I'll do is I'll put the rock in there, but before I do that, I'm going to add my soil to the bottom. And as you can see, this is a nice fine soil, and what it does is that vermiculite really soaks up the water with the peat, and the sand makes a good drainage. So right now let's take all this and put it in. I got my screen on the bottom of this pot that I got from, it's just a tray from Mykos. They had them on sale 2 years ago. I forgot, I paid like $1 a piece. Then they were on sale for $0.25, so I grabbed more. They were just trying to get rid of them. Okay, I'm glad I mixed more soil. So we got it straightened out pretty good. What I'm going to do is give it a little bit of a spray to anchor everything down. Now the spraying ain't going to hurt it. You just want to get everything so the roots touch base with the wet soil. Okay, so my first Pocomoke, well, let's get this big one out of the way. This is going to be like almost a triple trunk, if you can see it, but look at the roots on this one. But we don't need all that root. So what we're going to do is just take our chopstick, work the roots out, get my peroxide, dip my scissors in there, and we're going to cut some of this root off so we can fit it into our fixture. And this tree will have a nice radial root base because there's no giant taproot. I mean, there's a big knotty root over here, if you can see it. So we're going to just cut it off. Well, I guess it doesn't want to cut. That's a nice thick root. So I'm going to take my other shears, dip them, and clip it. Okay. So we get a 3-trunk tree out of the deal? I don't know. Let's try it out. We can always use it as a sacrificial branch, but you can see how nice the root base is. So I think we'll put this one towards the back here. But before we do that, we got to mound up the soil so the tree sits on there. Wet it down so the roots have contact with moisture right away. And I think something like this will work. Got nothing to lose there. Now the main thing is, once we get our soil on there. We're going to have to work it into the roots. Just like that. Just work it in real good. Squirt a little more. Okay. Now we'll get our second tree. There's another one. It's got another twin trunk. We can use that. And we'll cut this root that's curving on us. And we'll just cut this piece of branch off that's dead. That's another little twin trunk. And this one we can put maybe over here so we don't hide our rock too much. Our landscaping stone, let's put it that way. It's technically, it's not a real rock, it's a landscaping stone. Okay. And yes, I mixed some more up. So, let's get some more soil out of the container here. Okay. I think right over the top, if you spread your roots. Now you're going to see here's a crooked root over here. So we're going to just cut that piece off. And the roots we can just dip and clip a little bit so we can get them to grow. And I'll get some more of our soil. Put it on the roots. Let's work it in. Let's spray it. Now you can see our little cliff here is going to be a little bit too low in the pot, but we'll worry about that later. Now here's another nice Pocomoke. Look at a nice root structure on that. And I think we can put this one about here. So it's growing into more towards our stone here. Because it's a little smaller. We don't want to put it in the corner. Right about there might work. So let's get some more of our soil in there. Wet it a little bit. Spread our roots out so you get a nice radial root base out of it. That's a little offset from there and a little offset from there. So that looks pretty good. Okay, let's get our roots covered. Okay, now just working the soil into the roots. And once this flowers, we should have some nice looking trees and a nice looking forest. So now we have to raise our our little cliff up. There we go. Let it down. Right about there should do the trick. Get our roots all covered, make sure everything's covered up nice. The rock has a little hollow in it, so it's going to be something different. Not rock, I gotta say cliff, because that's what this thing really looks like, a small cliff. And we got our little bird on there. Could be a stork. Or it could be a seagull. Let your imagination run wild. Now, this would be too big in there. So maybe we can place a couple more stones. About there maybe. Give it a rough looking landscape. I gotta put a little more soil in the corner here. I hope our video lasts. Sometimes this thing goes out on me, so that's why I'm in a little hurry and trying to get it done so we don't lose what we did. And we can put another boulder here because all these match. Because what I did is I split up the rock in order to get this big piece so it looks pretty good. There we go. Now we'll spray it real good. Washing the soil real good into the roots. Give it a good drink of water. And once I do that, I can take my bottled water and give it a nice little drink. Like that. Wash it all in good because we want the trees to have a good drink of water. Just think of yourself on the desert and you're thirstier than oh heck. And you need a glass of water, and this does the trick. Okay, so now get our cups out of the way and just use your hands. Get your hands dirty and fill in all the spots that's missed. There we go. Make sure you get it around our stones real good. Our little outcroppings, our little boulders, so to say. There we go. And that way there they look like they're in the soil. You don't want to have them sticking up. There. Later on, if I can find some moss, I'll put some moss on here once the trees are established. There we go. Give it a little bit more water. Sorry about that. That's the hazards of doing it uncut when you don't edit. But what are you going to do? Stuff happens. So at least the rock was there to hold the board up from smashing our trees. It's a little bit of excitement here. Now if you notice, our rock has like a little cave opening there. So we could probably put some sand along here to make it look like a little riverbed. But right now, first I want to get all this packed in good. So we can get our soil level at the right level. Get some more. Get this out of my way. And I think that'll be pretty good. I got some sand there to make it look like a little spillway, like a dry riverbed. And it's so easy to make a little forest. And you're going to have a nice hardy tree because this tree will grow strong, bloom nice. It'll be something that you can be proud of. Okay, so let's get this all soaked in real good. So when I make mistakes, you see the mistakes. What are you gonna do? That's life. I'm sure everybody that does videos has mistakes too, only they can edit them out. I don't have the luxury. Wash the stones real good. Now let's see if we can get a little spillway. I'm going to have to look for moss. But once the trees start growing, then I'll go into more decoration. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You did that as a kid. So, you got nothing to lose right now. So we're going to take our sand. I'm going to put it right where the opening's at. And have it spill out. Coming this way. And that'll be our dry riverbed where the trees grow up in. And we can put a little bit of sand behind here and around so that rock looks like it's on an island. Just a little something different. There we go. I think that'll be good for this part of the video. Until we meet again on the forest, make sure our trees grow, and I'll look for moss so we can decorate it. Right now, I'm more interested in the trees. Today was a nice, gloomy, rainy day all day. Now, a lot of people don't like that, but I like it because it makes the roots grow on your trees. So that's one of the advantages of nice cloudy weather. Your roots grow real nice to support your trees. Okay, now we'll wipe our pot. I got 2 of them in there since they're not as strong, but they got a good bottom. Put a nice screen on the bottom for this. So let's give it a view. It's heavier than you wouldn't believe, but there it is. Our little forest. We'll see what happens when it grows. I think you can see our little bird. I think that might be an egret because that's native to China and around here too, but I think that's what it is. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So today's Thursday night. Old Time Radio. I was listening to Dragnet before I started the video, so I'm going to go back up there and finish it with Jack Webb. And I like that show. It's pretty good. So you take care of yourself, have a cup of tea, enjoy an old time radio show, an old detective show today. Relax, enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you for coming to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. My name's Tom Novak, and enjoy the rest of the night. Take care, everybody.